Hello, and welcome back to the channel.
So today we're going to be reviewing Slikadaice's latest release, which is actually an album, which is called Trapped Out Igloo, or Tripped Out Igloo. I already forgot the name. I can barely read. This is a very, very interesting album. It's very conflicting for me because there are two ways that I see it, and when I was listening to it, I had this kind of perception that I didn't know what I was going to rate it because there are two ways I see it, and so that means two different scores. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to give this album two different scores, and then that's just going to be it, because I genuinely don't have just a singular way I can see and interpret and score this album. Because although at face value it's a very simple collection of banger songs, it's not very easy to score because of that. So I'm going to be explaining why that is. So obviously the album is full of bangers, and that's basically it. There is one freestyle on which Slikadaice talks about how he doesn't like beef, and that is called the No Beef Freestyle, obviously. And the thing is, this album is full of bangers. That's all it is. And bangers are fine. I like bangers. I make bangers. I've heard bangers. I like bangers. Bangers are good songs. The problem is, when you put 12 bangers in a row, essentially 12 bangers in a row, and you have someone listen to it as if they're listening to a regular album, that's not going to make for a very good equation. Bangers usually don't have much of a topic, and they're kind of just turn up and hype songs. So they're not really the best subject matter for an album, especially because they're the only kind of songs within the album. So eventually, the listener starts to get bored. They start to hear the same kind of things over and over again, just with a different beat and perhaps a different feature. Now, I'm not saying the bars are exactly the same or the flows are exactly the same. That's not the thing. The thing is that after banger after banger after banger after banger, it kind of starts to sound like the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm not saying this in any way to discredit Slikadaice's work. I'm just saying this is how I saw the album and this is how I listened to it. By the end of the album, I was very bored. That's the thing. I like all of the songs. All of the songs are good. They are all good banger songs. Slikadaice knows exactly how to make a good banger song, but the one thing that prevents it from being good is that they're all linked together, and I don't think that's a good recipe for a good album, because once again, it gets incredibly boring. Individually, the songs are all good, but when you put them together, it makes the experience of listening to the album very repetitive and a little bit uninteresting. So that's kind of the way I see it. And even though I like every single one of the songs, I left the experience of listening to the album with kind of a bad taste in my mouth, because I don't think Slikadaice structured this album very well. You know, although it pains me to say this because I like all the songs, it was not a very good album. Not because of the musicality, but because of the structure. I'm not gonna say this one over and over and over, but you can't have just bangers in an album, especially one of this length. Each song is at least 2 minutes. There's 12 songs. That's at least 24 minutes of runtime. Some of them are 3 minutes. Some of them are over 2 minutes. I mean, yeah, after a while it just gets boring and repetitive and you just want to stop listening. Obviously, I listened to the whole thing and all the songs are good, but at the end of the day, it's not a good album. But there are good songs within the album. I don't know if I'm making sense right now, but I hope whoever's watching this can kind of understand what I'm saying. So the thing is, I'm going to be rating this album twice. Once for the potential of the songs, and once for the overall album experience. For the overall album experience, it's a 3 out of 10. It's not a good album because it's not structured well and it gets boring and repetitive to the listener. But the songs individually are at least 7 out of 10. So that's why I'm rating them like this. So the album is a 3 out of 10 and the songs are a 7 out of 10. You can see why I'm a little bit conflicted on this one. So those are basically my thoughts on it. Any questions you guys have, I'll answer them in the comments, because I'm sure I'm forgetting something that I wanted to say, but this is just off the top of my head because I just finished listening to it. Maybe my opinion will change, but this album just left me with a bad taste in my mouth. But the songs are good, if I'm making any sense at all. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.